Imagine your life as a long hallway of doors. Behind each door is a memory.
A smell, a face, a mistake, a moment you never told anyone about.
And then, one day, the hallway ends. For decades, people have reported something uncanny at that edge.
A sudden calm, a strange brightness, and a feeling that their whole life flashed by. A final movie, a rapid montage, a life review. Is that poetic storytelling the mind invents to survive fear? Or is the brain, in its last minutes, actually capable of something like a memory storm? Today, we're going to walk carefully through what we know, what we suspect, and what we absolutely do not know. Because death is not one event. It is a process. And the brain doesn't shut off like a light. It fades, flickers, and sometimes surprises us.
First, a warning about certainty. Most people who report a life review survive.
They come back from cardiac arrest, from drowning, from trauma, and report vivid experiences. That means we are usually studying near death, not after death. And that difference matters.
We also have to remember, memories are not recordings. They are reconstructions. So even a sincere report can be shaped by fear, culture, and the brain's need to make a coherent story.
Now, let's start with the most grounded question. Can the brain produce organized activity near the end?
In animal studies, the answer appears to be yes. In 2013, researchers recorded electrical
and found a brief surge of highly organized, synchronized brain rhythms right after the heart stopped, before the brain went quiet. Not proof of consciousness, not proof of a soul, but proof that dying brain does not always mean inactive brain. In humans, direct evidence is rarer
because we almost never record the brain at the exact moment of death.
But there are a few unusual windows. In 2022, clinicians reported continuous EEG from an 87-year-old patient who died during monitoring. In the minutes around cardiac arrest, the recorded rhythms shifted in ways that resemble patterns linked to dreaming,
Memory processing, and internal imagery. That still does not mean the person was watching memories. EEG is indirect. It can't tell us what the experience felt like. And the patient had brain injury and seizures,
which can complicate everything. But it does suggest something important. The dying brain can pass through strange, organized states, not just a flat line. There is also another phenomenon, less cinematic but very real. As circulation fails, the cortex can undergo waves of spreading depolarization that silence normal electrical activity. Think of it like a power grid losing stability. Some regions go dark, others flare.
Signals stop traveling normally. So the end is not a single switch, it is a cascade.
And cascades can have peaks. Now, the real mystery. How could a life review happen, even in theory?
To answer that, we need to understand what a threatened brain prioritizes. When the brain detects danger,
it does not think like a philosopher. It thinks like a survival engine. Attention narrows. Time feels strange.
and memory systems shift. In extreme stress, the body releases adrenaline and noradrenaline.
These chemicals can make the brain hyper-focused, hyper-alert, and intensely emotional. They don't create truth. They create intensity.
This is why a car crash can feel like slow motion, even if it happened in seconds. And interestingly, research suggests that slow time is often memory. The brain encodes a denser, richer trace during danger, so when you look back,
It feels like the moment lasted longer. In other words, time may not slow down while you are living it. It may slow down when you remember it. Now imagine the ultimate emergency. Oxygen dropping, blood pressure collapsing, the brain's prediction engine screaming.
this is it. In that state, the brain may do what it always does under uncertainty. It searches its archive for patterns. Who am I? What matters? What is unfinished?
What should I have done differently?
A life review is, in one sense, brain trying to compress an identity into a final summary. Not because it is spiritual, because it is computational. But why would memories appear as images, like a film?
Because the brain is a simulator. It uses fragments of the past to predict the future.
It replays experiences to learn. It dreams to reorganize meaning. And there is a system in the brain that seems built for storying the self.
Networks that stitch together your past, your values, and your relationships into a single feeling of me.
Under normal conditions, that system is stable. But when regulation breaks down, it can become noisy, hyper-associative,
and intensely symbolic. So seeing your life could be the same machinery turned up to maximum.
with the brakes failing. If the brain slips into a REM-like mode, that becomes even more plausible. REM is strongly linked to vivid internal imagery, emotion, and associative memory. A REM-like state doesn't mean sleep. It means a style of brain activity. Images without input.
Feelings without context. Stories without a narrator you control. Now, a key point.
A life review probably isn't every memory you ever had. Your life contains billions of moments. No brain can replay all of that. So what might it be? A highlight reel, a compressed map,
Set of emotionally central scenes. The memories that define your identity. First love, first loss, deep shame.
deep pride, a turning point you keep revisiting. And because the brain is an association machine, one memory can pull 10 more behind it, like a chain reaction. That can feel like a flood. But we still have to be honest about limits. A surge of gamma rhythms in an EEG is not the same thing as a conscious story. Gamma activity can appear in many states, including seizures.
A single case report does not generalize to every death.
And many near-death stories are filtered through culture, expectation, and the need to make sense of terror. So instead of claiming certainty, let's build a model that respects all of that.
Here's a cautious hypothesis. When the brain is pushed toward collapse, it may briefly enter a high integration state, rapid communication between distant regions.
In that window, some people may experience a condensed, symbolic replay of the memories that define them most.
Not a perfect documentary. More like the brain asking, what was the point?
And the most striking detail is what many people report next. Not horror, but evaluation. A sense of seeing their life through other people's eyes. A sudden awareness of kindness and harm. Focus on relationships. Even in scientific studies of near-death experiences, Relationship themes show up again and again. If that is true, it tells us something deeply human. Brain may not spend its last energy on money, or status, or inboxes. It may spend it on meaning. And that leads to the part that changes how you live.
You do not have to wait for the edge of death to run that review. You can run it now. Ask the question that a dying brain might ask.
While you still have time to act, what would my highlight reel be? What moments would show up? And
Not because they were impressive, but because they were real? Who would appear in it?
And what would they remember about me? This is not a call to panic.
It is a call to attention. Because if a final movie exists,
It's not a judgment from the universe. It's your own nervous system. Trying to summarize your life. So give it something worth summarizing. If there is one practical lesson from this whole mystery, it might be this. Novelty makes time feel longer. Kindness makes time feel fuller. And presence makes time feel real. Send the message. Make the apology. Take the walk. Call your friend. Put a small, bright pin into the timeline of your days. And when the end does come,
Whenever it comes, maybe the last thing your brain does is not fear. Maybe it is recognition.
If this episode helped you think more clearly about death and meaning, tap like.
and if you want more calm, existential explanations about the human mind,
technology, and the strange mechanics of being alive, subscribe to Arcane Knowledge. Until next time.